Hello, this is Bill Clodsey. Today we are doing a modern cube draft online. We're in an 8-player pod here, single elimination. So just like we're sitting down for a live modern cube draft, we will be playing against the people we're drafting against and cutting cards we don't want to play against and things like that. So let's look this over. Every card's going to be playable, you know, they're all the cards are put here for a reason, but there are some that stand out as the best in their archetype, and those are what I try to focus my first few picks on, and then just fill in, you know, whatever we get after that. Hopefully it's open enough. Koth is one I really like for mono red aggro. That kind of stands out. Grizzlebrand, not as strong without ways to cheat it into play, and Modern Cube doesn't have as many, certainly none of the good cheap ways. Bitter Blossom, yeah, I think Koth is the real answer here. I don't mind control and ramp and mid-range and things, but if we're seeing a pretty good red card, I might just jump on that. Unfortunately, you do need to fill it in with things to do on turn 1 and 2, and we don't get that immediately. Hard to tell what kind of card would be missing here. Maybe the best sort of thing here is Flame Slash. I also really like Hornet Queen. This card can catch you up from way behind, since it can deal so much, deal with so many creatures and pressure planeswalkers and things like that. And then Thunderbreak Regent, not really the 4-drop I want in mono red. So is it go off color or take kind of a medium red card? I'll speculate here. I'm going to take Hornet Queen, and maybe we can go in 2 different directions. The thing is, if an archetype is open, you'll be able to, like if it's really open, no one else is drafting it, you'll be able to make a playable deck out of 2 packs worth of cards, unless your archetype is just 5 colors and you need to pick a lot of lands. But, right, I mean, what's the red card here? Siege Gang Commander. Very powerful, but too expensive to really, you know, interest me this early. So I'm looking at Llanowar Elves and Orzhov's Signet, although it doesn't go with either of our first 2 picks. The Signets are one of the reasons why Modern Cube is so fun right now. So the best fixing is in the Signets, which also ramp. And then you have fetch lands and shock lands, which are also pretty fun to play with. Yeah, Gideon is okay. I think Koth is probably better for mono red than Gideon is for mono white, but they're both good. I'll just go with Llanowar Elves here and see if that might be open for us. Another aggressive deck you can try to go into is like a 2-color deck like Boros. But then you really need fixing, because you're trying to play all of these Boros cards on turns 1 and 2. And you don't want an awkward start just because of your mana. What is Fire Spout? Just deals 3 damage to a bunch of creatures, depending on how you cast it. Spellskite, Courser. The best card here might be Bomat Courier for a mono red deck. But yeah, I'm just not interested in most of the cards here. Serum Visions is fine. I'll go with Bomat Courier. Exquisite Firecraft. One of the measurements I use for a card in mono red is just like, how much damage can it do on its own? This is 4. If you have enough cards doing 4 damage to your opponent, then you don't need too many of those before you do 20. So that's pretty good. Inferno Titan is kind of expensive, but not terrible. Legion's Landing is pretty good. Conscript is pretty good. What else? Yeah, I'm looking at this Firecraft. I guess I'll just take that here, because Inferno Titan's a little too expensive, and we could end up being mono red here, even after kind of an awkward start. White-blue. Maybe white-blue control is more open than anything. Tomio is nice. Garruk is a nice thing to ramp towards, but I'm not seeing a ton of ramp either. Forked Bolt, 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. That's the thing. That's you can't just fill your deck with this because it's not going to do enough damage to your opponent. So it's really more of a control card. Pia and Kieran, on the other hand, is a nice one, but I don't want too many 4 mana cards in a deck like this. So this is a tough one. I might just take Tamiyo here. Yeah. Just keep taking my favorite cards, and maybe it'll be clear that some deck or another is open. Essence Scatter, I really like this one. Go in our third direction here, which is blue. Yeah, I'm a fan of Essence Scatter and Dimir Signet. I guess if we're going to end up in like blue-green or blue-red control, then I would rather have Essence Scatter as our first counter magic, and Master of Waves is also good. Figure of Destiny if we want to stay in a red aggro deck. So that's a tough call here. Yeah, maybe we take Figure of Destiny. We have more calling us towards red. Oh. Now we could go in a bit different direction here with Olivia Voldaren. There's no crazy vampire synergy going on, but the ability here is strong. Just as long as you're able to cast this, you have some black mana in your deck, you can ping things and make Olivia bigger. But then, if you do have time and mana to spare, you just get to steal whatever she's bitten. That's kind of good. Gargadon versus Duplicant. I'll take the Gargadon. Suspend 10, I mean, that's never going to come in, but you get to sacrifice just a bunch of your permanents on the last turn. It comes in with haste as a 9/7. Not sure that's exactly what we want, but it could be. Lava Claw Reaches versus like Flame Slash and the Regent. Flame Slash is solid, and we are wheeling the red card, so maybe this is open. And I'm not a huge fan of Lava Claw Reaches, especially in an aggressive deck. Even though it is fixing for black, I'm more interested in the shocks and the fetches. Commander versus Eternal. I guess the Commander is some nice extra bodies to sacrifice to Gargadon or something if you're short on mana to shock them, to sacrifice them to shock people. Amit Eternal is kind of aggressive, but yeah, we'll still stay mostly red here. Alright, Experimental Frenzy comes back. I mean, that's a good enough sign. If most of your cards are cheap, you just get to go through them. Don't want to play against Threads of Disloyalty. Pia and Kieran comes back. So all in all, not an incredibly strong pack for us, but a good sign for us that the red cards have been wheeling. Oh, a new one. New addition to the cube here with this Legion War Boss. Probably worth trying out. Makes tokens. They have to attack the turn they come in, but that's fine. And then it can pump up some of your smaller creatures lying around. Arid Mesa is another one I'm interested in, but I think War Boss is enough of a threat that we can take that. Rabble Master is also in the cube, so if we get that, we can play them together. Alright, Bloodstained Mire and Fire Drinker Satyr. Shivan Fire is just creature removal, so I would rather have the things that can double as creature removal or player direct damage. So Flame Slash is not one of those cards, but it's pretty efficient for all that. A cheap way to get a blocker out of the way early or slow your opponent down. Tough one. Yeah, I do want Bloodstained Mire. I'm not sure we're going to play Olivia, but it would help a lot if we had the Bloodstained Mire. And Fire Drinker Satyr is a good one. Just 2 power early in the game. You can pump it if you really need to. I'm going to go for Bloodstained Mire. Hopefully this deck is just open enough that we don't regret that. Hero of Oxid Ridge, there we go. That's a solid threat. So if we don't end up playing Olivia, we'll have more to do on our turn 4 here. Oh wow, just too much going on, I think, at the 4 mana slot. So we don't really want Rekindling Phoenix. I mean, it'd be fine, but I really want to curve out here. So maybe Phyrexian Revoker is the card I want to grab now. I mean, it shuts down Planeswalkers, and you do have more options with it. Oh, Rakdos's Return. We're not spoiled with a bunch of lightning bolts and chain lightnings and whatever in the modern cube, so this is about the best you can do. It doesn't do 4 damage, but it's close. Rakdos's Return is also good. And if we're playing Olivia, we'll definitely want a card like Rakdos's Return as well. But I want to be a little closer to the ground, maybe. What is this? Ire Shaman, 2/1 Menace for 2, or Megamorph it later. We do want 2 drops, so yeah, I think I'm going to go for Lightning Strike over Rakdos's Return. I'm not so worried about getting enough 4 drops at this point, so we could just cut Olivia. It is a bit of a later game card anyway. Goblin Guide, now that's a good 1-drop. Chain Whirler. Truly a mono-colored deck if we're going to take this, but it's a good one. Just a 3/3 first strike, but also kills like elves or whatever your opponent might have out. Hard to block. Sword of War and Peace is good too. You can kind of think of that as a 5-drop. Yeah, we just have a lot of 4-drops here. I'll go for the Chain Whirler. And the Ferocidon. Faith's Fetters is a powerful one, especially against us, but the Ferocidon kind of helps shut it down. Fight with Fire. Not actually great, because you can't point it at players until you get the 9 mana. Ooh, Fire Drinker Satyr's back. Yeah, instead of dirtling around with 5 drops and crazy things, I'd rather just be playing these plays on turn 1 to pressure our opponent's life total from very early. Gargadon, I guess, is a 1-drop, but I'm not even sure I want that here. Not much we are interested in. We could consider cutting something, like a Spell Queller, Collected Company. I'll just take the red card. Ferocious, although we don't have many 4-power creatures. Koth kind of counts because it animates a mountain into a 4-power creature. And the hero, we don't want to play against Hidden Dragon Slayer, or Thalia for that matter, but just keep cutting red. Ire Shaman. Yeah, red must be open, so I feel like I'm in the right seat here for what I've settled on. Last pack. Can we get some good ones? Keranos is very good. This version of the deck just wants to not splash anything, so we'll have to settle for Direfleet Daredevil. Kind of a weird one. It relies on your opponent's graveyard, so that's not always great, but maybe you'll get some value there. Mainly it's just a 2-mana, 2/1 first strike, and I hope that's good enough for the speed of this deck. We'd love to get 1-mana, 2-power creatures, 2-mana, 3-power creatures. It can happen, even in red. 3 or 4 damage spells, and then, you know, really quality 3-drop creatures. It'll be fun to try out Experimental Frenzy here in a deck that kind of curves out up to 4 mana. Siege Gang Commander, still not sure about this one. If we get something like Porphyros, which rewards having a bunch of creatures coming into play, then it does get better. Alright, Chandra, Torch of Defiance, another really quality 4-drop. And then I imagine Earthshaker Kenra can wheel, but we definitely want one of those in the deck. I'm going to take Chandra here. Just really good. So we've got Koth, Chandra. Pia and Kieran is one I'm not super excited about. The lack of haste really puts it behind some of these options. Abbot of Carroll Keep. Yeah, no haste, but the prowess is a nice touch. Really glad we got this fetch land. So yeah, these are my bombs at the 4-drop slot. I'm more or less happy with with the curve before that. I'd love to pick up a few more spells like Lightning Strike, Lightning Bolt, Flame you know, whatever the equivalents are. Ah, interesting pick here. Searing Blaze, very good. Eidolon of the Great Revel. You'd think where your deck has all the cards that activate it, it's not quite as good. Searing Blaze is probably better. Kill a creature, do 3 damage to its controller. We've got a fetch. Eidolon probably wheels. It's very heavy red. They both probably wheel, but yeah, I don't mind playing against Eidolon, and Searing Blaze is just like 6 damage, so that's got to be good enough. Scalding Tarn versus Glorybringer. Glorybringer's definitely one that's worth paying 5 mana for, but I'm a sucker for these fetches. Even if we're mono red, I like controlling the composition of my deck. So Crater Maker, I guess that's fine. There are some artifacts and Eldrazi that this can help take out, although one Eldrazi comes to mind that's indestructible. You've got Ulamog, so destroying it doesn't really help, but oh well. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with upside, so we can't complain too much. Alright, we did it. We got Goblin Rabblemaster. So we have all the good goblins on turn 3. And then a dinosaur. There we go. Burst Lightning is actually also very good, but Thundermaw Hellkite is like the 5-drop I want in my deck. A lot of the 5 mana dragons with haste are 4 power. This one has upside and it's just 1 more power than that, so that might be worth it here. Burst Lightning, shoot. I mean, this is a 4 damage spell that has upside early, just shocking something. So I would love Burst Lightning as well, but I'll take the Hellkite. Is there anything here I don't want to play against? Hour of Devastation can just wipe our board, and it's red. Quarantine Field is not able to do that quite as easily. I'm not really afraid of much of this. Oh, the Kenra is back. Really happy to see that. 2/1 haste. Yeah. I don't want to play against Whip Flare. The rest of these cards don't help us. And Eidolon is back. That's perfect. That might just finish up the deck here. I knew these colors were open, but the cube is bigger than the number of cards that are opened, so you won't always get everything you want. We can add 1 more card. This would be 16 lands. I think we can go down to 15 lands. Maybe not. Maybe 16 is about right. And if I cut a card, I'd probably put in Greater Gargadon as something else to do on turn 1. And if they can't kill us in time, getting a 9/7 haste down on turn 4 or 5 or something could help finish things up. Ah, Glorybringer comes back. We might have expected it. So I wonder if it's worth playing 15 with 2 5-drops. And we're mono-colored, so that kind of makes sense. We even have Chandra to help ramp. Koth also kind of ramps. As long as the land that you animate didn't come into play that turn, you have to be a little careful to check. But it'll work out. Yeah, I like this. 15 lands. Get rid of Sorin and the lifelink. Super easy to build. 12. Why would it suggest 12, huh? You'd figure it could count, right? I mean, it's but sometimes it just doesn't succeed there. Or did it know we were going to bring in a non-basic? I might bring in Westvale Abbey. Shoot, that's only 12 red sources, and we do have some heavy red cards, and Abbey I guess we could get to a point where it's good, but honestly, I think it'll more likely mess up our draw. I mean, we have Chain Whirler, so we want just as many. We want as many mountains as possible, and that's going to mess us up more often than it helps us win the game, because it really is a late game card. So I like this version. Pretty low to the ground. It would have been nice to get a few more 1-drops. We only have 4 threats on turn 1, which I guess is reasonable. And then I'm not sure about the quality of all of our 2-drops, but at least we have some. And then I'm extremely happy with our 3, 4, and 5 drops. And those will be a lot of game winners for us. Rabble Master, War Boss, Thundermaw, Chandra. Fun, or at least fun for us, and no fun for our opponents. Round 1 versus Caius. On the draw, unfortunately, but what are you going to do? Can't mulligan this hand to try to get a 1-drop, I think, so hopefully our War Boss can get it done. Thoughtseize. We have some redundancy at our slots here, so at least they're taking 2 off the Thoughtseize. Take every bit of damage I can get. Tough one for them. I guess the card I would least want them to take is War Boss, but they know better than I do, so. Oh no. Well, goodbye, Exquisite Firecraft. The only legal card for them to take. And then I guess I would play Revoker here, naming kit type Abandon Hope. Let's do a Liliana. Liliana, the Last Hope, sure. There's 2 Lilianas. There's Liliana of the Veil, Liliana of the Last Hope. You know, who knows? It'd be funny if they played it here, though. First things first, swing in there and see if it unlocks our Firecraft. Probably not. So why didn't they attack with the Freebooter? I don't know. I suppose we could have gotten our Goblin to attack, but they just block it. Doomblade kills the War Boss. Saving the Irish Shaman here. 4 mana 3/2 is not great, but that might end up being what it is. Yeah, morph it for 3 and then untap it without much value. So we could just save it a turn as Menace, so that's always a nice upside there. Whew, they hit our mountain. And you know what I'm going to do here? Now that we've drawn the Frenzy, I think we just play that. Can't do anything else this turn, but whoops, whatever. Just have to draw that Satyr. It's a bit of a shame. Phyrexian Arena. Okay. Talk about a race here. Daredevil Doomblade. Doomblade doesn't do much. Thoughtseize might. Anyway, we'll play it. Give me that Thoughtseize. And can't play Koth, so let's just see what they have. It's a swamp. So we just took some more damage here. Damage we did not need to take. Gonti. Yeah, there are a few things they could probably cast with 1 mana. And it also shuts down our offense completely, so I'm not a fan of Gonti here. Meaning, I think it's very good for them. At least it has Death Touch and not Lifelink. Abbott on top. Okay. What did they find? Flame Slash? Killing Daredevil or something? Who knows? Sometimes you'd want to stop on your upkeep with Frenzy, but I can see the top of my deck, so I know I don't need to here. Yeah, it was Flame Slash that they took. Okay. Okay. 4 damage to target creature. Is that what we want? And then if so, which creature? Getting back Firecraft doesn't make sense. I think we just kill Gonti here. And soak up another 2 damage. They're going to be drawing lots of cards, but we just want to get them dead as soon as possible. No! Yeah, we can't beat... There's no way we can beat Whip of Erebos. There's just nothing we can do to come back from them gaining 3 life here. Alright, that didn't work as well as I might have hoped. But the deck is set up well enough here, and we can have much more explosive draws. Especially now that we're on the play. Oh, excellent. Yeah, this is the kind of hand I want to see. We get to play out our whole hand, and then if we get up to 4 mana, we just get to go nuts with the Frenzy again. Not that we went particularly nuts with it that game, but it can definitely get some value. Draw them some cards here. Nope, Kalitas, although I hope they never play that one. Thoughtseize, yeah, just not the worst card in the world for us. They might grab Figure of Destiny, or well, I guess they're going for the Frenzy, so they think they can survive all the stuff we're going to do now. I hope that doesn't mean they have some mass removal, because we're just going to commit to the board here. I should have attacked with the Goblin Guide first, so I don't see some of that mass removal that they might have. But Hexmage is okay. Freebooter takes the Searing Blaze. Yeah. Land here would unlock it, which we might as well go ahead and do. Read the Bones, not one they want to cast. Searing Blaze doesn't help us a ton. Let's see, it also does 3 damage to target player or a planeswalker, and 3 damage to a creature they control. Unfortunately, we just don't have... We don't have the targets we need for it. Make sure we kill that Liliana. 4, 5, 6 puts them at 3. Yeah, I'm going to kill the Liliana here. It just kills one of our creatures each turn, so we give up on 4 damage there. Ah, they do have the Damnation. Well, shoot. Okay. Anyway, I think that was fine. I forgot this does damage to your opponent. I guess I didn't play much with it in Standard because I didn't play much Standard. Kalitas is there. Yeah. Okay. Meyer. My oh Meyer. They have to block here, but when they do, we're going to get them. Otherwise, they're just dead, so yeah. Go. And that's our last landfall payoff, so I think we're safe to fetch here. Read the Bones, go ahead. Please. Yeah, we knew they had Hexmage. Yeah, unfortunately here they can trade the Copter. No, they can't, but they can chump for an extra turn by putting the Copter in the way. Let's just draw something that kills them, please. They don't want us to draw, so they're just going to hold priority on our upkeep, as is their right. Okay, whew. Yeah, and it's a good one. And we didn't play land this turn, so that's not going to mess us up. We can just kill them this turn if we plus. And they might concede to it here. There's only one reason we would play it first main, and that's because we're going to use it. Ooh, down to game 3. What can we do? Bonfire is interesting. Target player or planeswalker, and each creature that player or that planeswalker's controller controls. They had to make these effects a little more wordy ever since the change about redirecting damage. And they did have that Liliana. So, good guess, I suppose. Frenzy, Bonfire. Miracle works a little awkwardly with the Frenzy. I'll just submit like this. I always start with Miracles in my opening hand anyway. We'll keep this. We have a nice little curve out. Opponent is down to 6, so that's always a good sign for us. Oh, now show chat. Won't use top decking. I mean, that's a mechanic built into the game. Shoot, I wish I knew they were chatting to me. We chat back. Give them the wow. So, what? So we can close this whole thing, but to open it again, we've got to open it piecewise. It's a bit new, I guess. Oh no, they're down to 5 here. Not great for them, but they like their top card at the very least. We have a figure. A lowly 1/1. Freebooter just on time. So what does that get? Chandra, Firecraft. At least our turn is pretty well set up. We attack with figure, and if they block, of course we pump it, but if they don't block, we might just play out Ire Shaman. That might not even be true. Maybe we just want to pump this. Yeah, I think we'd better do this. Not sure if you deserved to lose it. Well, who's to say if you really deserved to lose it? But I certainly deserve to win it. Good, it's good deck construction. That's what it is. You definitely deserve to lose it. Quality, this is some quality deck construction. Really complex interplay between all of my cards. Perfect mana balance. Credit where credit is due. Yeah, sometimes the chat gets more exciting than the actual games themselves. What have we got? Phyrexian Arena. Yeah, just what I want to see. That'll do. Menacent. Not attacking with Freebooter means they plan to block with it. But that's not going to work out for them because, first of all, the Shaman has Menace, and second of all, this thing is just too big. We might lose to something like Damnation here, but whatever. Even Damnation we can beat because we get back Chandra and we get back our, we have our Experimental Frenzy to keep going. Thoughtseize, that gets a little more annoying. I'm not sure what they take here. I love how all of their cards are doing damage to them. Arena does 1 damage every turn, and I don't know if they can slow that down. Black doesn't usually have a way to get rid of their own enchantments. Thoughtseize and every creature they play now that Ferocidon is in play. And the best part is their Whip of Erebos won't gain them any life. Well, so long as the Ferocidon survives. Cool. The attacks still look good here. Everything comes in, and we can double pump the figure to a 4/4, which would be the play if they block with both, I think. Certainly I want to kill the freebooter. Who knows? Everything else looks pretty good. I mean, maybe they double block the Ferocidon. Then we just play Chandra and pump the Figure of Destiny afterwards. Okay. Maybe we don't need to do that. Let's do 2 damage with it. I want to plus it here, certainly. And what was that, a land? Okay, a land we don't need to draw. 2 more damage to them. And they're so low here that they pretty much need to deal with the fire. Well, I guess they kind of got it. Whatever. Goblin Guide. Pre-pump this thing. And then 4 damage to them. And that'll do it. I don't know if we deserve to win that, but we won it nevertheless. See you in the next match. Round 2 versus the Draft Master. Draft Master. Keep it. Really want one of those 1-drops. Let's go. Can we top deck it? Not quite, but a haster isn't bad either. Don't tell me this is the mirror somehow. Okay, it's a blue-red. So that doesn't really count. We're going to save Abbott. We have something better and faster to do. And there is some upside from the Abbott. Like, I wouldn't mind just playing it next turn and trying to hit a land off of it instead of using up Firecraft right away. Forked Bolt. Yeah, these aren't supposed to block much, but it's hard to see that number, isn't it? 1 and 1, I presume. Spellskite. Huh. We could kill that Spellskite, but I'm going to go with the plan here. See if we can hit that land off the top. No, we just exile our Thundermaw Hellkite instead. That could be worse. This does look like combo deck. Oh, maybe something a bit different. Could still be combo deck. Ral can minus to kill Abbott. Doubt that will be the play. It is the play. It really is. All right. To be a little careful here, because I'm going to go to play Koth, and then we have to just be careful to plus on a mountain that we've had from earlier, because it doesn't give it haste, and they're careful not to word it that way anymore, but cool. Mountain kills Spellskite. Ral is still up and about. With any luck, we'll draw land here, and then have Searing Blaze and Exquisite Firecraft all active and such. The landfall for the Blaze kills Ral Zarek. What happened? Okay, 1 to the hand, the other to the graveyard, which is the Lightning Helix, which means the card they drew is very good. And they likely have some kind of counter magic up. Well, let's see what happens here. Glorybringer. They counter Glorybringer, and This is our... what the heck? Oh, I see. Well, let's just untap the same mountain. It has some memory of it being a creature, hence all the weird stuff. Yeah, are they gonna exile this? I'm not sure. No, but we finish off Ral, and we've been trading 1 for 1 with like Forked Bolt, Dissolve, and whatnot. So feeling pretty good about this. Keranos, not feeling as good, but maybe we're okay. The emblem is pretty powerful. Yeah, let's just get an emblem here. It's not something they can interact with, and then we just do 6 damage to them every turn. Or, and we can do that anytime, get out a big old 4/4 that they, can't block. That that might have been bad. Although, over 3 turns, this is going to do more damage. Yeah, they're done. This emblem is just too much. All of our mountains can shock them, and they can't really kill our mountains, and they certainly can't kill our emblem. Right. Whip Flare. No. Maybe, but we didn't see much that it deals with. The Greater Gargadon gets more interesting because we can react to removal, and we can react to spells that will steal our creatures, like Threads, which we have and can't possibly play against. Or we can just keep things the same way, because they seem pretty good. Alright, keeping this one. I've always wanted that 1-drop on turn 1. And looks like we get it. Oh wow, fetching already? Little do they know, that'll make our Goblin Guide that much better. Let's see if it still gets them a land here. It does not. It gets a Keranos. So it's funny. I mean, generally this is a disadvantage because it can draw your opponent cards, but it also tells us what they're going to have in their hand for the next few turns. Does draw them an island. So it's either kind of good for you or really bad for you. Yeah, no 1 toughness creature, so we can just save that Blaze. This can turn off Izzet Signet, which is probably what we'll do. I'll attack first. Blue does have some flashy creatures. 2 damage divided as you choose. Let's make them use it. They're going to have to use the Forked Bolt they draw or something to get rid of our Revoker, to unlock the thing. They'll just counter it. That's fine with me. So we're contending with a Keranos next turn, but we can probably race that. We'll have Hero of Oxid Ridge into Glorybringer, so we get 1 turn where they don't, devastate us with it. Because it does nothing the turn it comes in. Just get as much damage in on them as possible here. And it's a coin flip, whether they're going to shock something or just draw an extra card, and both are really good. But yeah, I think our best bet here is the Hero. Get in 6. That stuff doesn't matter. 7, rather. Battlecry, draw them a mountain. And hopefully they get another mountain. Yes. Because now they can kill one or the other, but not necessarily both with what we know about. Or, kill both, no problem. Now I'm worried about some counter magic, but nothing for it. Let's play Chandra. And if we can get them down to 5, that'd be ideal. Come on, don't do this. Disallow. Alright, back to you. Drawing more cards. Yep, I remember that guy. And a Boros Signet. So they're tapped out here. Land gives us a chance to drive things home. Otherwise, I guess it's just Chain Whirler. Oh wow, each Planeswalker is going to take a hit too. So they take a hit to 6. And they just won't hit a lightning bolt for the life of them. But drawing all these extra cards can't be bad either. Jace, Architect of Thought. We'll have to give them... I don't want to give them Lightning Helix, so let's give them Phoenix and Fire. Can we tell which pile they took? Lightning Helix. Okay, so we split it correctly anyway. I guess we could look at the number of cards in their hand and do it that way. Come on, land. I'd love to draw land here. But that's what we get. Oh, that's what we get for playing 15. We just have to deal with it. So they get a free thing there, and now they have Spellskite to help protect them. Unfortunately, it doesn't do so well protecting against these dragons. We just need some mana to cast them. Museum Mortars. You can have Sarkhan, I guess. Expansion Explosion might actually be enough to kill one of our dragons here. Yeah, not quite big enough to kill Thundermaw. Not that that's going to matter. Come on, land. Yes, we get there. There's just 3 damage to them. Torrential Gearhulk, Lightning Helix, and this is not our game to win. Yeah, that puts them back up to 9, and I don't see a way out of this except maybe to mill them. 5, but they're going to kill us far too quickly for that. Good to see that land, though. Chandra Flamecaller. Yeah, okay, we're done. We're done. It's just too much damage this turn. Heck, even Keranos is going to attack. Alright, maybe... yeah, we're set up well enough against this. Anger of the Gods, though, that's a rough one. On the play, things should be a little easier. But we have to mulligan 0 land hands. So we'll start with that. Keeping this and bottoming Glorybringer, just far too expensive here. I don't know what to name with Revoker. They have white, so Boros Signet isn't the best. Yeah, I don't know what to name, but maybe we could just pump Figure. I'd rather get Revoker into play. No. If we get Revoker into play, they can just kill both with the split spell of 1 damage each. And that's too bad for us, I think. Museum mortars, okay, I mean, fair enough. Shoot, this is a tough one. So what is it, Chandra Flamecaller? The 6 mana one, something like that. Why do it this way? Well, they are stuck on land. Oh, they're not even stuck on land. Now it's their turn 3. Is it Signet? That's the other one we could have named. Oh well. We'll just keep doing this backwards until we learn. Come on, no anger. No anger, but all their counter magic. Sabotage. Sabotaging our goblin seems like a good deal for me. And then forget Daredevil getting something back. It is just a 2-power creature to get into play. Alright, more counter magic on their part. I'm not sure we can play around that so well, so I'm just going to start with Koth. And the newly controlled one is on top, so we just have to target some other one and hope their 6 mana spell doesn't kill too many of our creatures. Yeah, it's really interesting actually, but I'll attack into it. They don't have an instant to get, it's just going to be a big flash monster. So they kill our mountain, which kind of sucks, and then they can attack Koth back. But they take 7, so maybe they can't attack Koth back. They're going to unlock the Revoker! Oh no, so that means they have it. Oh, that's awful. That's awful news. But maybe our Chandra can just win. They didn't kill the mountain, so that's turned on. Here they go, -3. Kill Koth, and we can sneak by with a win with Chandra, please. Watch them play island and hold up negate. Be no more than we deserve here. Come on, Chandra. Do it. All right, on to the finals. It's a close match there. Here we go, the final battle against Ombre Pasto. Keep it. Good curve out potential here with Goblin Guide, and not much in the way of a blocking force established for them. Let's see what we give them. They're going to get Channeler Initiate, so if they have the land to level up the Tree Speaker, which I'm sure they do, they can play the Initiate in the same turn. Now, that won't be a blocker for Goblin Guide yet, unless they kill their own Tree Speaker, but it still curves out nicely. Oh wow, they do not find the land, so maybe they'll have an elf or something, but no level on the Tree Speaker is a good sign for us. No attack either, so I'm not sure why they would do that, but that's what they're doing. Yeah, we could probably just name Draga Tree Speaker with our Revoker. See if we give them a land this time. Nope, Giant Garruk instead. One issue with naming the Initiate is that they can just sacrifice it to the Initiate. Well, sorry, naming the Tree Speakers, they just sacrifice it to the Initiate. They might not be able to afford to do that because they need the Initiate to add mana. That's a tough call here. Oh well, Revoker, naming Tree Speaker. It does limit their options at the very least. Jiraga, Tree Speaker. Easy enough. Getting lucky with these Goblin Guide runs. They have another tap land, I imagine, yeah. So it's not that they didn't have enough lands, it's they didn't have enough untapped lands. Oh wow. If only we could get this Chain Whirler into play. That is too bad. Oh well. Yeah, just attack with both here. We do draw them the forest. That could be 5 mana for them next turn. I wonder. Anything they block with, they're going to lose. And yeah, one obvious block would be to the Tree Speaker on the Revoker, so they kind of just annihilate. Here we'll go Abbot of Carol Keep and hopefully find a land on top. Yes, we get there, and that means Satyr. And a Chain Whirler for next turn, which might be able to kill the Initiate and the Lotus Cobra, depending on what all they're going to do this turn. Very good start for us. No, they're going to play something bigger. That's okay. They could untap 2 forests or make one into a land. Oh, they're going to do the Initiate, so Chain Whirler is going to destroy them here. Assuming it puts the counters on itself. If it doesn't, Chain Whirler is not very good. Yes! Oh wow. Chain Whirler, easiest Chain Whirler of my life. And then we can focus them or kill Nissa. I think we want to kill Nissa here. Limit what they can do, limit how big of blockers they can have. But yeah, we could have had them at 7, but this seems better. The Initiate's gone, they have Noble Hierarch in play. Then what? How about Legion Warboss? I think it's right to attack with everything. Give them a land, maybe. Hierarch is not a particularly good blocker. Shriekmaw. Shriekmaw can kill something for cheap. And they're at 1. Good deal. They need a board wipe that doesn't do any damage to them. Just too late. Cool. This is a game where a timely Bonfire of the Damned could win things, and that might be exciting enough to go for. Let's see. I'll do that over Ire Shaman. Never been a huge fan of this. Mostly for just the story for when it works, but this does get better if your opponent's playing a lot of little creatures. Just don't want to start with it in my opening hand. That's all I ask. Or draw it in the first 2 turns. After that, it should be a good one. Well, we do start with Bonfire in the opening hand, is kind of my tradition. But I will keep this hand. We saw last game that 1 toughness was kind of a weak spot for them. So maybe we can do turn 2 strike, turn 3 Bonfire, and then turn 4 Koth. We'll see how that works. Well, there's the mana we need for Koth, and a larger Bonfire if it comes to it. Nothing on turn 2. That could be good news. Their deck has the potential to curve out 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. So if they stumble a little bit, yeah, that can only be a good sign for us. We'll do Crater Maker here. Playing full Sultai means they are sacrificing consistency in their ramp for some more interaction. Counter magic, removal, bounce, Maelstrom Pulse, things like that. Shriekmaw evoked. They're just going to kill the Crater Maker. Well, that's a fine trade. They do have to sacrifice it. I might as well hold my mana up here. And then Tree Speaker. That's too bad. It's too bad, but they don't get an acceleration from it for at least another turn, so we don't have to kill that right away. I'm just going to go for Koth and then carefully select a mountain that we did not just play this turn. Start ticking up Koth and then hope they don't have the Planeswalker removal, which they might have. But some of that is expensive enough that they could not do that and level Tree Speaker on the same turn. We'll just have to see. 3. Courser. Yes, okay. 4 toughness is a lot. And we only have Bonfire for 2 this turn. But what we could do... No, that doesn't quite work. What does work? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Glorybringer. And then this is our champion mountain here, our veteran mountain, so let's untap that and let's just get in there. Whoops, careful, undo. I don't know if that even does anything. For exerting, you have to be a little more careful. And, ooh, that's tough. I kind of want to get rid of their ramp, but we have other ways of dealing with the Tree Speaker, so let's kill the Courser here. That might come back to bite us. But, I mean, we have a couple ways of dealing with the Tree Speaker. It pressures Koth, not as much, unless they activate Lumbering Falls or something with it. But, I mean, they're already down to 8. And a lot of cards in our hand just do like half of that, so... Not to mention just like using Koth's ultimate, so that's another priority for them to get a damage in on Koth. Like, if all they do this turn is activate Lumbering Falls and swing, they can't quite do that. The Gilded Lotus is fine, but it's mana negative. Rashmi? No, that's not going to be good enough, I'm afraid. I'm not sure if we win this turn, but it's close. We need a... If we had one more mana, let's see, this might do it. Lightning Strike, Rashmi. The other thing they could have is a 0 mana counterspell that they have to pay for in their next upkeep. Maybe playing around that is just a little weak. So yeah, let's kill Rashmi. Untap this guy. Scalding Tarn, Oxid Ridge, and that should be 8. And propel us into that trophy range. I guess you don't get a trophy for these drafts, but the reward is pretty nice. So thanks for watching. Modern Cube, the Fun Police takes it down again. Good luck in your drafts.